This is a circus made up entirely of monsters. The ringmaster Hedig is a ferocious lion monster. He has successfully tamed a fire demon to perform fire-breathing tricks in front of the audience. A beautiful fox monster also obeys him without question under his whip, showing her lovely fox form. What's even stranger is that the troll, who is inherently cruel, has become as docile as a lamb after his training. He can put on a stunning display of strength for the audience. Such exciting performances make the audience scream continuously. Little did they know, all the performers are monsters. They just see it as a novel magic show. Meanwhile, there's even a werewolf in the circus's grand finale, but this werewolf refuses to show his true form for a long time. It isn't until Hedig waves his whip repeatedly that the werewolf transforms under the pressure. Right after that, the werewolf easily breaks open his cage and walks toward the audience. Right after that, Luke cooperated with Hedig and put on a show of humans hunting monsters. In the end, this wonderful performance won the approval of the audience present, and they all clapped to cheer Luke on. After the performance, Luke thinks they shouldn't act out being killed every time. Instead, they should interact more with the audience. That way, the audience will like their shows even more. But Hedig refuses arbitrarily. He says he's the master of the entire stage. And it's not their turn as monsters to tell him what to do. In an instant, all the performers fall silent, as if they're all afraid of Hedig. Luke's opinion isn't adopted, and he feels very depressed. So he decides to go to a quiet river alone to relax. On his way there, though, he runs into two fanatical female fans who invite him to their house to hang out. Luke wants to refuse, but the two fans are so enthusiastic that they pull him into the car directly. Little did Luke know, Hedig sees everything. When Luke arrives at the girl's house, Dolores and Monica ask him to perform magic. They want to see the werewolf up close again, but Luke is in a really bad state. He finds that he can barely control himself after transforming so often. But Dolores is in a hurry. She even slaps Luke, imitating Hedig's methods. Angered, Luke transforms into a werewolf again in front of them. At that moment, Dolores and Monica realize that Luke isn't wearing a werewolf mask during performances. He's a real monster. Instantly, screams fill the house. The next day, someone calls the police to report Dolores and Monica's deaths. Their bodies are in a terrible state, as if they were torn apart by some kind of beast. But there are no signs of a break-in at the house. This means the culprit is likely someone the victims knew, or maybe the culprit has a spare key to the house. After searching the victim's clothes, Nick finds a circus ticket. Hank also finds a circus ticket on Monica. Following this only clue, they go to Hedig's circus, but when they enter, they discover that all the circus members are monsters. Ordinary people might think these are magic shows, but Nick is not only a policeman, he's also a monster hunter who can see through all monsters' disguises. To avoid alarming the many audience members present, they wait until the performance ends before taking photos of Dolores and Monica to ask the backstage staff. But Hedig says he has no memory of them. After all, there are too many audience members every day, and he can't remember everyone. However, Luke's mood is unusual. His eyes are bright red, as if he's about to transform into a werewolf again at any moment. It's clearly a sign of nervousness and guilt. Although Nick notices Luke's unusual behavior, he can't take him in for questioning without evidence. After Nick and Hank leave, Genevieve goes to find Luke. She has long noticed that Luke is not in a good state, as if he's affected by frequent transformations. Under Genevieve's questioning, Luke finally confesses everything. He admits he did go home with Dolores and Monica last night, and in the end he couldn't control himself and turned into a werewolf. But he has no memory of what happened afterward, let alone how they died. Genevieve doesn't blame him after hearing this. Instead, she comforts him patiently and brings up the plan to escape the circus together again. Luke also wants to escape, but he knows they can never get away from Hedig's pursuit. Then he tries to drown his sorrows in alcohol as usual, but Genevieve snatches the bottle and smashes it to the ground. Luke, who is in an unstable mood, transforms into a werewolf again. Immediately after that, he involuntarily attacks Genevieve. Luke doesn't know at this moment that his frequent transformations into a werewolf are making him lose control. It isn't until Hedig arrives after hearing Genevieve's painful cries that Luke sobers up completely. Looking at the injured Genevieve, Luke is filled with remorse. He never wanted to hurt Genevieve, he just couldn't control himself. However, Hedig doesn't care about Luke. Instead, he blames Luke for delaying the evening's performance. He doesn't even care why Luke can't control his transformations into a werewolf more and more recently. Then Hedig tells someone to find another fox monster to replace Genevieve for the evening's performance. Meanwhile, Nick and Hank go to the spice shop to ask Rosalie about the monster circus. Rosalie tells them that the practice of forcing monsters to perform has existed for thousands of years. The leader of the group will use some method to control a group of monsters, forcing them to transform into their true monster forms, frequently to make huge profits. But frequent transformations every day can drive them insane. In the worst cases, they may never turn back into humans. or even lose their humanity. This condition is called full transformation. If a monster undergoes full transformation, it becomes very dangerous. The culprit who killed the two victims is likely a monster close to full transformation. Nick immediately realizes that things are tricky, so he and Hank go back to the police station to investigate the circus's background. Then Nick reports the found information to Captain Sean. They discover that every time the circus passes through a place, brutal murders occur there. Moreover, many of the performers have criminal records. Sean also thinks the circus is suspicious, but there's no evidence yet. The circus will leave in 2 days, and they must race against time to find evidence. Meanwhile, Eddie and Rosalie go to the circus. Rosalie is a pharmacist in the monster world, and she has a responsibility to help every monster in need. But before she can find the monster she needs to help, Jack sees her transform into a fox monster. Jack thinks she's an actress here for an audition, so he takes her into the tent without asking. Rosalie doesn't resist. She thinks if she can successfully infiltrate the circus, she might be able to help Nick solve the case. Haddig personally conducts the audition. When he sees Rosalie's beautiful true fox form, he thinks such a beautiful fox monster is rare, and immediately decides to let her perform tonight. When Rosalie arrives backstage, she sees Genevieve touching up her makeup. They belong to the same race, so they naturally have a lot to talk about. After a conversation, Genevieve advises Rosalie to leave quickly, because this is not a place for normal monsters. Rosalie takes this opportunity to ask about full transformation, and Genevieve frankly tells her that Luke is close to full transformation. Rosalie is shocked after hearing this, and decides she can't leave now, so she immediately goes to the backstage to change into her performance costume. At this time, Eddie sneaks in. He is worried about Rosalie's safety and tells her to evacuate quickly. But Rosalie insists on staying. She wants to help the werewolf who is close to full transformation, and tells Eddie to go notify Nick immediately. When the circus performance is about to start, Luke throws a fit. He thinks Rosalie has taken his girlfriend's job, so he refuses to cooperate with the performance. Heddig arbitrarily shows his true lion monster form, forces Luke back into the cage, and claims he has absolute control over Luke. He even hints that if he hadn't stopped the two girls from calling the police, Luke's identity as a werewolf would have been exposed long ago. At this moment, everyone present realizes that Heddig killed Dolores and Monica. Luke also becomes obedient after hearing this. After all, a lion preys on wolves. Soon, the circus performance officially begins. Although the previous performances go smoothly, when it's Rosalie's turn to perform, Luke still loses control. He angrily shows his true werewolf form, rushes out of the cage directly, completely ignoring the ringmaster's orders, and prepares to attack Rosalie. As it happens, Eddie is also a werewolf. To prevent Rosalie from being hurt, he steps forward and tackles Luke, then starts fighting with him. In the chaos, Nick and Hank also arrive in time. Heddig has long realized that Nick is a monster hunter, and knows Nick won't let him go, so he gets scared and turns to run. At this time, Rosalie stops Eddie and reminds him that Luke is just sick, not trying to attack her on purpose. Then Rosalie hurries to pull Eddie up, and Luke turns back into a human again, but he has no idea what he just did. Meanwhile, Heddig runs into a maze in a panic. Just as he is about to use the maze to escape from Nick, his employees stop him. Their accumulated anger and long-term oppression erupt at this moment. Heddig tries to defend himself, claiming he gave them a stable life, goals, and a family. But the members don't listen to his explanation at all and gather around him one after another. With Heddig's death, the circus is disbanded successfully. The monster members also leave this place, one by one, to live the life they have always yearned for.